Look how far we've come, all the things we've done. Did it all with love, beauty from the bottom up. All I want is you, you're my favorite view. But there's nothing more, girl, you make my heart beat.
And we are back.
We are back, and I am not center.
You are not. Still hot though. Even when you're off center.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, it's Friday. So today we are doing Friday content.
We are.
For those of you who are unaware, we record live on our Patreon every time we do one of these.
We do.
And we have almost 60 people. Oh, and I'm sorry, almost 70 people currently watching that will be interacting with the chat as we do this episode.
Yes.
You have topics that you want to discuss. I have topics I want to discuss. And in the event that we run through all of those topics and still have time left, we're going to read an article because I have articles saved as well. I have a whole lot. Today's a lot. My brain, so I'm tired.
Yeah, last night was a pretty rough night.
I'm actually mentally exhausted to the point of delirium, I think a little bit. So if I'm a little weird today, guys, that's why. But I have a whole lot processing in my brain that I need to get out, and this is going to be the thing that does it. So I will let you start.
Okay, with me starting, can you scroll up just a smidgen?
Yes.
Stop it.
Another smidgen?
That's perfect. Shout out to Bethany. This is her first live since joining our Patreon. How exciting.
Welcome. What's with the jazz fingers?
Excitement.
Spirit fingers.
I like jazz fingers.
Jazz hands.
But special shout out. Glad you're here. I hope you have fun. Enjoy the community. And if you want to join our Patreon, you might be the next name that we shout out.
Could be.
Ooh.
Could be. We're also going to be doing something new today for Patreon. I put the question out, like if you guys have easy questions that you would like us to run through to do it. And I figure what we'll do is we'll do this episode. When this episode is done, I will pull up Patreon. We'll just re-intro and then we'll just bang out all those questions.
Okay.
And do like a 15, 20 questions and make all of them as individual videos and then upload them to Patreon as individual segments.
Okay. Because
we have 8,000 people total on our Patreon, and all of those people who are part of our Patreon, free or otherwise, are still technically members. Patreon will email them on all of those.
Okay.
So they're guaranteed to see our content, whereas Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or Facebook, you'll see it when the algorithm decides you get to see it. So we're trying to manipulate the internet in a good way to make sure that you guys can see what's going on, because we're tired of being suppressed. So,
well, everything that everyone does is manipulation. The intent behind it, though,
is what matters.
Is important.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. The upside of that is if you are a part of our Patreon and you're on the $15 tier and you have an access to Discord, we add everyone every time we go live.
We do.
And we don't always post that to the Patreon page because I forget.
Yeah.
It's a me problem. And I'm working on it, but Discord definitely gets it. So.
Yeah. You also got to think we have a lot that we have to post to. So we just have to integrate that into the muscle memory.
Yeah. I realized this morning as we were leaving the bank that I don't think that most people would be able to keep up with our life. And that's not a brag.
No.
Like, this is chaos. And sometimes it's so fucking overwhelming that we have to put the phone down and just walk away from things. There are certain aspects of my life that I can't do unless I'm physically on a computer. And I don't know if that's a comfort thing or a spicy brain thing, but like
simplicity thing. Maybe?
I need to be able to access my workflow, and when I can't do it, I can't work.
Yeah.
So
I get that. Yeah, that whole conversation coming up about if two people were just picked up and dropped into our lives and be like, all right, run with it. Yeah.
No.
I made a comment this morning because I call the lawyer, got to message Buff Bell, got to do the thing in Patreon, got to message Discord, my women's groups. And I was like, my goodness.
Right.
We talk to so many people on a daily basis.
That was yours.
Yeah, just me.
On top of me going, okay, I need you to do this, this, I'm driving, because we rode together.
We did.
Right? Like, so we're trying to navigate a work life in the 15 minutes that we're driving. It's a lot.
I think we do great.
I agree. I think that we're doing a great job. It just
gets overwhelming.
You don't realize how much is going on until you're having a conversation of all the things that you need to do, and you have to do it in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Hey guys, little quick interruption. If you're enjoying the content, please leave a like. And also don't forget to comment. We enjoy interacting with you guys and hearing your opinions, and it helps the algorithm.
It's also free to do, and if you really want to help make sure the show continues to do, hit the subscribe button and share the content across your social medias. It costs you nothing, and it greatly helps the show.
Yeah. And you also don't recognize how much you have to do when you're in the middle of doing something. You're like, oh yeah, you got to do this and don't forget that. And put a reminder for that thing. And I'm like, oh gosh, short circuiting. I just need to finish this one message.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost up to 100 people.
Holy shit.
Thanks for being here, guys. So,
You want me to open that tab?
yes, this morning at the ass crack of dawn. So, a little background. Last night was a pretty rough night. Both dogs had upset tummies. So, there was a very big concern that Bane was going to shit himself in his crate last night. So, it was getting up, checking on him, checking on the whining. He thought it was morning time. He just wanted to come out and play. Thankfully, nothing happened. And then one child had a nightmare. Another child woke us up at 3 a.m. Can I have a snack? Homie, go to bed.
Yeah, you can tell the kids were not rested today.
Yeah. And then I turned around and got up at like 5:30 in the morning. And as I was scrolling, every morning I get up, go to the restroom, and I mind scroll to help get my mind awake. I doom scroll. Gives me something to focus on and things to think about. And I came across a video of somebody talking about, there was a study done. I did not look into this at all past this person talking about this. I don't know the study. I don't know how many subjects there were. I don't know if this is a ongoing study where they're collecting new information. But the person commented on that there's 4 pillars that cause massive issues in relationships. And if these 4 pillars can be navigated and handled with grace and communication, it can lead to a very successful marriage. The first one being religion, second one being in-laws, third one being parenting, and the fourth one being money. And we know that finances are one of the leading causes of divorce and for people to end their relationships.
It is actually the leading.
Yeah.
Yeah. People like to say that it's infidelity. It's not.
Right.
It always comes down to money. And then when you look at the next like 3 or 4 things on that list of, I don't remember what they were.
Right.
All of them can be linked back to money.
Yeah.
Stress from money. In-laws are creating problems from money. Like all of those things will always go back to, well, what was going on in the marriage? Well, money got fucked up.
Yeah. Connecting the dots to it. And the person in the video that I was watching said that in her personal life, right, this is not connected to the data that was collected. She said in her own personal life, evaluating family relationships ending, aunts and uncles getting divorced, parents getting divorced, whatever, and her close friends, the ending of the relationships were in-laws and religion. And I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. And the issues with the in-laws is a lack of boundaries. So the person you're with not handling their parents, extended family, all those kinds of things. And then the religion came in when it came to parenting children. Something that people don't think about in the courting phase is, oh, I'm Christian, you're atheist. Well, I don't care what you believe in. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. And they get along really well until children come into the picture. Because then all of a sudden, well, I want the kids to go to Bible school on Sundays. Well, I'm an atheist. I don't want them following that rhetoric. And now there's bickering and back and forth, and the relationship foundation is now shaky because you guys can't agree on how we're going to raise these kids for the next 18 years. And I thought that was a really neat tidbit of information because I never thought about religion correlating to raising kids being a reason that marriages fall apart.
I would have never correlated it for the reasons that marriages fall apart. Marriages fall apart, but I definitely think that that is a discussion of what should be had before you procreate.
Kids, yeah.
If you're going to have children, that discussion should be had, especially if there's 2 conflicting religions there.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten emails about this.
Yeah, we have.
Where somebody's Christian and somebody's Jewish, and like it was a whole email. Like the entire email was about that.
Yeah.
And they didn't talk about their religion first, and like they were having issues because of that.
Yeah.
So you're right. Well, you're a Christian, I'm atheist. We can just do whatever we're going to do. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Getting overlooked. People don't think about the future in that aspect.
Yeah.
This thing said that on the in-laws aspects, that influence is another part of that. And that is the negativity bias that gets spread to your family members that then start to pick at you.
Yeah. It's like the ice falling into the cracks of your foundation, not ice, water. And then once it freezes, it expands. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to all happen at once. My husband and I had a whole conversation.
Yeah, to learn about potholes.
Yeah, because of the potholes. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. And this is actually a really good metaphor for what we're talking about. It doesn't all happen at once. There's a rain and it freezes and then it cracks a little bit. And then it rains and then it freezes and it cracks a little bit more. So this is something that's going to happen over time. It's not going to be an instance, oh my gosh, all of a sudden there's a pothole in our relationship. Oh, I made a vlog yesterday, guys. It wasn't edited. I fell asleep at like 7 o'clock last night. And I have decided, right, in building this new foundation of me, I'm feeling good about myself. I have been able to let go of a lot of things that, 18 to 22-year-old me was holding on to in my spirit. And I really feel like I'm turning into the mature woman that I am. And I've decided, you guys have seen Despicable Me, right? You guys know the little girl when she gets the unicorn, she's like, it's so fluffy. That's now going to be a part of my personality, the aggressive, loving excitement about things. And I'm not going to feel bad about it.
That's
I
funny.
used to be self-conscious, but we're just going to run with it.
So I posed a question to the Discord this morning. Obviously, Carrie, you got to cut all of that nonsense and pick back up here. Sorry, guys, we had a technical issue. I had to reboot everything. So there's a weird cut. I don't remember where we were. We don't remember where we were since then. We've had conversations with Discord.
And food.
We've had food delivered. Life has happened. We're moving on.
Okay.
I posted this to the Discord this morning, and I did it because I wanted to create a conversation piece that's going to lead into the single conversation that I want to have. And I wrote, you're going to die one day. Might not be next week, might be 60 years from now, but it will happen. Are you living the life that you want to live? If you died tonight and you had to meet your maker, would you be proud of the account given of your life? Are you going to be able to look your gods, or universe in the face and play the victim? Do you think that they will care? I am 44 years old and my life is half over if I believe that I'm going to live until I'm 90. The reality is that my life could already be 80% over and I could have no idea. I am living the life I can while working towards the life I want to have. I've currently checked off so many boxes in my life and I'm checking off more all the time, but I am not where I want to be yet. What's stopping you from having the life or living the life that you want to live? What can you do about it right now? If you say nothing can be done, you haven't been paying attention to the podcast beyond looking for validation in your shortcomings, and you are still playing the victim. You are the author of your own story, but you have to write the motherfucker. Life is for the living. So I posed this question, and I know that I'm kind of all over the place reading it, but the general consensus of this is that you don't know how much time you have left. And so many people are stuck in the rat race, and they're not doing things that fulfill them. They're waking up, they're slaving, they're going home. They're not connecting to their family. They're not connecting to their loved ones. They're not a good husband or wife. They are just existing because that's what's expected of them right now. And they have all these dreams and aspirations and these things that they want to accomplish in life. But the reality is, if they're not taking steps every single day to get to that, you're never going to have it. Well, one day I'm going to, no, the fuck you're not. Let's be real, because what you're doing right now is not conducive to that future that you dream of.
Right.
Sometimes we have to work 80 hours a week. Sometimes we get put in a position where we don't know what the fuck is happening. And we're doing everything we can to just keep this much of our nose above water. And every once in a while take that deep breath and now we're choking.
Yeah.
And that's what life feels like because we don't have a little bit of help or a mentor or some guidance or the community to go, hey, you can't fucking tread water like that forever. Something's going to go wrong. And then what are you going to do?
Right.
I said this was going to lead into the singles conversation, but I think that applies to everybody. Okay. Right? Married or not. New parent, old parent. It doesn't matter what your existence is. If that is what you are doing with your life, this is not sustainable.
Are you transitioning the conversation?
I was going to continue the conversations, but have at it because I know where this is going. I've been thinking about it a lot today.
Okay. I just wanted to jump in before the conversation started shifting into the singles conversation that you want to have. You said something along the lines of people say, I'm gonna, no the fuck you're not. I want you guys to look at what you said you were going to do 6 months ago. And is that a thing currently? If it's not, your words are meaningless to yourself. There's no discipline. There's no drive. I have stopped saying, hey, babe, I want to do this. Hey, babe, I'm going to do this. And I just do it. And I'm like, hey, babe, look at what I did. That's the most rewarding aspect of that for me. Think about that, guys. That has been a really big thing for me. I recognize I was like, hey, babe, I'm going to start sewing. Hey, babe, I want to start building Lego sets. Hey, babe, I want to knit. Hey, babe, I want to crochet. I'm thinking about doing this. I want to do that. And here I am 6 months later and my sewing machine's still in a box. So that instant gratification of, hell yeah, babe, I think you're going to love doing that. Oh, thanks, husband, is not doing it for me anymore. And I recognize it's because I'm looking for fleeting
dopamine hits.
Not dopamine. I mean, yes, dopamine hits, but that's not what I was going to say. Gratification is not the word either. Maybe recognition in the moment. Like I'm feigning productivity and I need you to see, like, I'm thinking about doing something. I need you to be like, hell yeah, babe. You're going to go do that thing. And then nothing happens because I got the attention I was looking for in that moment, not the attention of actually getting the thing done. Does that make sense?
It does make a lot of sense because you got the praise for it without actually having to do the work.
Right. And I'm slightly embarrassed to be saying all of this. Maybe there's a little bit of guilt or shame, but I recognize this within the last week or so that I am giving myself synthetic versions of, I'm proud of you, babe. Do the thing. Instead of actually just doing the damn thing and being like, hey, babe, look at this thing versus I'm thinking about this thing.
Yeah.
It feels nice to actually do the actions and get it done and actually have a physical thing. Sometimes it's a physical thing. Sometimes it's working on my mental health and being like, hey, babe, I processed this versus I'm thinking about maybe processing something that happened 6 years ago.
Right. But Bell said it'd be cool if you'd stop calling me out, Peach. So this, what I was going to continue with on this situation is if you are that person that your nose is barely above water and you are doing the best that you can right now, there's still something more that you could be doing. Sometimes that something more is devising a plan. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's asking for help. Sometimes it's trying to do 1,000 other things that you haven't thought to do yet because you're so focused on staying alive right now. Mm-hmm. We get asked all the time, literally all the fucking time, where can you meet somebody like you? Where can I find them at? Can I buy them on Amazon? We see the shit every day on TikTok. It's always in the comments. Where can I find that at?
Bro, have you found you yet?
Right? That's my question. You guys, newly singles, I don't care if you're 20, 30, 50 years old. Mm-hmm. If you have a long-term relationship, this is where all this was going. If you have a long-term relationship with somebody, long-term is a relative statement. Right. Because if you're 20, 2 years is a long time.
Yeah.
If you're 40, then not so much.
Right.
But if you have a long-term relationship where you have lived with somebody and you have started integrating each other's behavioral traits, you've become enmeshed, you are living as one flesh the way that you're supposed to, you lose yourself.
Yeah.
And when the relationship doesn't work out and you no longer maintained your hobbies and you did the things that you wanted to do, you now have to learn who you are all over again. So while you are now treading water, trying to figure out where you're going to go, trying to figure out what you want to have in life, and you're doing it on your own, because this was the singles discussion I wanted to have, now is the time to start doing that work. Start doing the journaling, start reading books, start going to the gym, because people do that when they break up. Everybody wants to get that gym body and start, look what I did. I love myself. And then they'll get into a relationship and get fat and comfortable, and they'll fall back into those old habits because it's a show me thing. Here's my resume. Look at my six pack.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's what that is to me. So when you become a single individual, regardless of where you are in life, there is a whole lot of learning that has to come. And there's a lot of figuring out who the fuck you are as an individual. And that comes into a planning phase. I know that this is all over the place.
I'm following. I think you're doing great.
Okay. The conversation that I had about the treading water and about the single life is because in my head, I see so many people holding their children, dragging their partner along and kicking,
right?
Trying to fucking just keep above water. And nobody's doing anything to change their situation. They're just doing that. Mm-hmm. And then when they go, my kids will be 18 one day. I don't have to hold on to this anymore. Now I just got to hold on to them. And I'm doing this thing and I'm doing it because I have to do it for them. You just get so caught up in spinning your tires and doing the thing to do the thing that you no longer have a passion in life. Mm-hmm. And if that's all you're doing and all you're doing is existing and you're not trying to like create the existence that you believe you should have, eventually you're going to lose everything because you're just doing enough to keep going. And if you let go of your person and you're now treading water on your own and you realize that it's a whole lot easier to do it by yourself, you can catch your breath or whatever. Like, this is a really bad metaphor at this point. I give up.
No, I think you're doing good, babe. It's painting a picture. Picasso. Right.
But so when you get to that point where you now have nothing to hold on to anymore and you're treading water and you realize that you've been doing so much for so long for so many others that you don't have a trajectory of your own life, you have to now figure out a way while treading water to take a fucking break, devise a plan, and then go after the things that you want to go after. And that's where all of this came from.
Yeah.
This entire conversation came from that thing in my brain. So
I love that. It's like one of those little, like, you know, like those little dinosaur capsules that you put in water and expands.
yeah,
Yeah. My little dinosaur fluffy.
this is why I don't sleep at night.
I think that'll be helpful conversation though. I think a lot of people need that perspective shift.
That little bit of tired becomes a whole lot of tired because I can't fall back asleep because this is what I'm doing to myself.
Yeah.
So when you guys become single, what are some of the things that you can be doing to start improving your life? Right? Because we get these questions.
We do.
So if you are in that self-development journey, and this could happen while you're still married, right? You guys could be.
I'm so sorry. I had a thought. I'm starting to work on my self-help book that I want to sell. And as you're talking, I had a thought for a chapter, but if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget it.
I'll write it down.
But I can't find my notepad, and I hope I didn't delete it.
Oh, no.
Because I had like 13 chapters mapped out.
Well, while she's looking at, guys, is this making sense to you all? Am I just rambling at this point? Marcy said, so true. My son is graduating on Monday and turning 18 this year. And I feel like I'm going to be lost not living my life around him anymore. So now you have an empty nest. Now you have the things that you have to do to figure out who you're going to be. This is why we say to prioritize your marriage over your children. If you have been prioritizing I'm glad you guys think it's making sense. Good shit. If you have been prioritizing your children over your marriage and you don't know who you are anymore and you don't know who your spouse is and you guys have just been living, treading water, holding the kids till you can let them go at 18 so they can tread their own fucking water, like you now have whatever little bit of time you have left, which could only be 24 months, 24 days or 24 hours. You have no fucking idea. Like, I don't want to go, if I died tonight and be like, man, I really missed a whole lot of opportunity to travel and I didn't do the things that filled my cup because I was too busy worrying about simply providing, right? And we talk about that as what it means to be a man. Provision is a big part of that. And that is going to be something that I have to answer to. Did I do enough to provide if I was to die tonight, right? Like that's a whole ass conversation, but
I had a thought.
Makes sense. I'm following like a whimsical trail. Okay.
So going all the way back to the thing that you read, that you typed up, you know, when you meet your maker, whatever that looks like for you, God, God's universe, spirits, whatever you believe in, are you going to be happy with the way that your life plays back out to you? And this morning was a rough morning. There was a lot going on. We were on a time crunch. The kids weren't listening. I was repeating questions and please go put your socks on. Well, I want to talk about breakfast. We're not talking about breakfast until you go put your socks on. Like, do the checklist and then we'll figure out food. And I had a moment this morning because the children were talking and I was cooking pasta and I was washing dishes and I was trying to feed the dogs and 50 million things at once. And I was becoming agitated. And looking back, I could hear it in my voice, right? And our son said something to our daughter and she responded just totally shittily. And I was like, we don't talk to people like that. Like that was rude. He was just trying to help you. And she looked at me and she was like, then mommy, why are you talking to me like that?
Damn.
And I was like, damn. I was like, you're right. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm going to cry. I was like, I'm having a really bad morning and I shouldn't talk to you this way. I'm sorry. And they finished doing whatever they were doing, got their lunches packed up, everything in their backpack, signed their agendas. And I called them over to me and I got down on the floor and I was holding them and I was like, I'm so sorry that I was speaking to you guys the way I was talking to you this morning. And I was like, none of this is an excuse. I want you to understand where I'm at so you can know why I was acting the way I was acting. And I was like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not having a good morning. I did not sleep well last night. And our son was like, is it because I woke you up for a snack? And I was like, that's part of the reason, buddy. And, you know, I don't want to talk to you guys this way. So I'm going to work on talking nicer to you guys when I'm frustrated. And the whole mood changed for the day. And when we were in the car, our daughter looked at her brother and she was like, brother, I'm sorry for being mean to you this morning. And it was like a trickle down effect. That's one of the things I'm going to be proud of at the end of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's so, I mean, there's so much accountability in that. Your kids see that. Kids see the parent who won't take like responsibility for their actions. Well, I'm the adult.
Yeah.
You just do what I fucking say, right? Like when you are capable of sitting down on the floor and having that conversation at 5 and 6 years old or 6 and 7, they fucking get it.
Yeah.
They understand that we're not perfect. And if mommy can be like, I'm sorry and mean it, then I can be like, brother, I'm sorry too. Yeah. That's huge. That's the generational trauma being broken.
Yeah.
Because we would have never gotten that.
No.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to pull my cheat sheet back up because I've gone so all over the place. I am not sleeping since we've got back. So I am all over the place.
There's a lot to get caught up on in life since being back.
Yeah. Well, I'm power napping.
Yeah.
And I think that's affecting, because like I fell asleep on the couch yesterday.
Yeah, like 7 o'clock.
Day before that it was 7. Yesterday it was like at 3.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with me. Like I'm not sleeping throughout the night, and I think it's because of Bane.
Yeah. There's a worry there.
I don't want him to shit in his crate.
Yeah.
Like I know that it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. There's no way for it to not happen. At some point, he's going to get the runs in the crate, and he's not going to get out of the crate in time, or I'm not going to wake up in time, and he's going to shit in there, and I have to clean it.
Right.
And that having to clean it sucks. Mm-hmm. But knowing that my dog is in a kennel and can't get out of the crate and then has to lay in it fucks with me.
Yeah.
I feel like a piece of shit human being.
Like
for
a
that.
neglect thing.
Right. And I understand that there's a safety there for him. And to a degree, he enjoys being in his kennel. When the door's open, he'll go in there and sleep. Mm-hmm. But in the middle of the night, when he is in there, because he does chew, and I don't want him getting into things, and he has not got that discipline yet, it's keeping me up. If I hear him whimper or I hear him toss and turn, I'm like, oh God, has he got to poop? Yeah. So there's a fear in that. And I think that's why I'm not sleeping. So it is making me delusional. Because
it's like we have a newborn.
It is. It is.
It's also hard to tell between he just wants to come out and play and I have to go to the bathroom.
He always wants to come out and play.
Yeah.
So on this thing I wrote on here, what is stopping you from living the life that you want to live, and what can you do about it right now? If you say nothing can be done, you haven't been paying attention to the podcast. If you are that person that is treading water, or your tires are spinning in the mud, or you're just existing right now and you're comfortable, you could still be doing something, even if that something is devising a plan or putting an audiobook on or looking into your religion or finding a therapist or having the hard conversations with your children about why you're sorry for the way that you talked to them this morning. There's always something that could be done that incrementally improves your life, that is going to get you to where you got to go. Mm-hmm. And if you are somebody that's just existing right now, and that is a choice, you're choosing to be comfortable, you're not choosing to change, you're not going to move anywhere. I know that there are a lot of people out there who are in really shitty relationships. I truly believe that there are more people in marriages or long-term committed relationships that don't like each other than people who do. I believe that there's a whole lot of outside influence from the internet and all of that to start to try to change the way that we view the world. And it's like crabs in a bucket. Yeah. It's misery. It's depression. It's, I relate to this one thing right now, and I looked at it for 14 seconds. So the internet's like, we want more of that to keep them engaged in these things. So now you've been doom scrolling for the last 25 minutes and you fucking hate your husband or your wife. You think your kids are useless and your world is just over. And what should you do about it? Oh, other than buy this thing, right? And that's the existence that we're creating, and people are comfortable in that. We've become comfortable. So if that is your existence and you're not fucking happy with your life, what are you doing to change that? Mm-hmm. Back to the singles conversation, because this was the whole point of this episode for me, was wanting to have the conversation about what you do when you become single. Okay. The gym conversation is one of those things because your physical health is directly related to your mental health. And if you have good physical fitness, good cardio, you feel good about yourself. It changes your view of the world. It'll change the way that you start eating. Mm-hmm. Like it'll increase your sex drive because you feel good about yourself when you look in the mirror. There's a whole lot that comes to that. I think that you should be journaling. Men or women, I don't give a fuck. If you are newly single, you should be journaling about your life. If you have a thought, my sling bag's in the car. Mm-hmm. I have a small 5x7 journal. Mm-hmm. It's a leather binder that I just pulled a little book out of and put it back in. If I am having a real thought that I can work that thought from beginning to end, I will write it down, like fully write it down, because then I'm going to remember it so we can talk about it on the podcast. Yeah. If it's not coming to conclusion and it's all over the place like this is, I'll pop open a document and just verbal vomit and then try to make it make sense later. But that is a great way to not only organize your thoughts, but to have a cohesive, this is what I believe in, this is what I went through, this is what I need to do better. I really messed up here. This is a huge, I can't fucking believe I did that. I'm kind of disappointed in myself. This is something I know I need to work on, right? And you just get that from journaling. Yeah. And then once you have that, you go, okay, now what do I do to work on that? If this is the problem, I need resources so that I don't relive that. And YouTube is a great tool, right? A community is a great tool. Mentors, elders are great tools. But if you can't identify what those things are, you're not going to grow from them. And this is the thing that we talk about by healing during the healing before getting into another relationship. All of that baggage that I just laid out is things that most people are just going to bring with them because they don't want to be alone. Because I've been with somebody for the last 4 years and I'm used to living with somebody and now I have to do it by myself and that sucks.
Yeah.
What am I going to do when I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm scared?
I do that.
Everyone does. What happens when I have that really bad nightmare where I wake up and like it's silent? And the only option I have is to turn on this little blue light to distract my brain so that I can go back to sleep or turn the TV on instead of having somebody to wake them up and talk to them about what was going on because that'll make me feel better. So we have this fear of that loneliness, right? We need to fit in. We need, evolution says that if we don't fit in with our tribe, we're going to fucking die out there.
Right.
And our tribes have become our in-home family. The extended family that's outside of the home is just that. They're a phone call away, not next door or in the next room because we've gotten bigger homes and smaller families. We're working on that baggage. So we're going to start going to the gym, start journaling, find a community. Find a community that is not going to peer pressure you into doing the things that you think may be against your morals. This is a great time to figure out what your non-negotiables in life is. It is a great time to figure out what your core values are. When you have lived life with somebody for 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and you now find yourself single, you don't know who you are anymore because you have given up so much of yourself to be with another person. It failed. You have to accept that. Now you have to figure out who you are and start building that up into a version of you that you like.
Yeah.
Right? Because in the beginning, you're not going to like you. You might feel invigorated and free, and that might last for a year, right? And then you realize that you're still holding on to all of that bullshit that you didn't let go of, and now you have to do the work. So like, let's streamline that process. But I just lost my train of thought completely.
Oh, dang.
I thought I need to take another bite of my parfait because it's going to get gross. And because I thought that, it just derailed. And I also realized that I have the comments turned off or like the thing off so that I could focus. I'm going to take a bite of this. Would you like to take over? Can I put the camera on you? Because I need a minute. You
said some things that caught my brain. So you were talking about crabs in a bucket, right? What's something that crabs in a bucket do? They're willing to step on one another to preserve themselves. If I can step on 20 of you to save myself out of this bucket and get back into the ocean, I'm going to do it. And I think a lot of people in marriages do that too. Well, my happiness is the most important thing to me because clearly you don't care.
Right.
So I'm going to be willing to step on your dreams, your affections, the requests for connection, because it's one for all at this point. What is the phrasing? All for one and one for all? No. That's what I was thinking.
I was going to say you're going the Three Musketeers route over there.
Yeah, no. The fend for yourself. This is like I'm not cooking dinner tonight. Feed yourself. Three Musketeers.
That's a candy bar. Isn't it 4?
No.
Okay, great.
I'm almost certain there were 3 of them. Am I thinking of the Three Stooges?
Well, the Three Musketeers is a candy bar.
There's somebody out there.
But I believe there was actually 4 Musketeers.
They're like a boy band.
Yeah, I don't know. This is so dumb.
And then there was something else that you said that I got hung up on, but then I was so engrossed in what you were talking about, I lost it. But I remember the crab in the bucket thing.
All right, guys, as you know, there was a TikTok scare. We lost the app for a whole 12 hours, and we have no idea what the future of the app looks like. And with that, we are very concerned about the loss of our following. We have amassed almost 3 million followers across that platform with all 4 of our accounts. And we are trying to push people to other social media platforms so that in the event that anything happens on one app, we have multiple other backup plans. If you want to make sure that you're not missing any content, we highly recommend that you check out our Patreon.
On Patreon, we have multiple tiers to choose from. Starting at $10, you begin to receive exclusive content. At $15 a month, you get access to our private Discord server where we've amassed an absolutely amazing community of supportive people. And beyond that, we have other tiers to check out, along with my 2 private women's group, if that's something you may be interested in.
Guys, on our $15 and higher tier, you have access to live recordings. We record all of our content 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week, live in front of our Patreon audience, where they are able to chat with us while we're recording. They can see all the flirting, the outtakes, the hot topic conversations that never actually make it on the podcast. And it's really worth that aspect in itself. We have an After Dark where we sit down usually once a week and have a glass of bourbon, or in Peach's case, a glass of wine and a bowl of cheese. And we have a whole lot of fun conversations, karaoke in the Discord. We finish the lyrics. We literally just hang out and you guys get to hang out with us. There is a host of other perks, including Zoom calls that are coming for the ultimate tier. So that if you guys are having problems, you can talk to us. It also gives you the heads up on private meet and greets, because when we travel, we try to meet up with people on our Discord on a regular basis. There's a whole slew of other perks that come through Patreon. I highly recommend that you check it out.
The best way to support what we are doing is to share the content. The second best way is to check out our Patreon. Thank you guys for being here.
So anyways, back to the single aspect of things. What are some other things that you think people should be doing during that initial trying to find themselves phase to create the new version of themselves?
Be comfortable doing things on your own. Go out to dinner by yourself. Go watch a movie by yourself. Go to the beach and listen to the waves by yourself. And become comfortable sitting in your own head.
You know how much of a superpower that is to be able to go and do all of those things by yourself and be happy doing it.
Yeah.
It gives you a sense of freedom and a power when you actually get into a relationship, because you can get into a new relationship with all of your new hobbies and all of the new wants and loves and who you are. And to bring that in, you don't have to worry about what somebody else is doing.
Right.
I'm going to go to the beach. Well, I don't want to go to the beach. Okay, well, I'll see you later. Right? Like, I'm going to go do that thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that enough people are comfortable enough in their own skin to go do those things by themselves. We have a stigma in society that when you see somebody eating alone, you feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I can't believe they're at Chili's eating by themselves.
Right. Nerd with a book.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Oh gosh, there was one more thing. Oh, I got it. If you don't enjoy your own company, how is somebody else supposed to? Right? And I say that in the context of, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, you fat piece of shit, no one's ever going to love you. You're worthless. Every time you bring up a situation, well, I'm just a burden. I shouldn't talk to anybody because no one really cares. That bleeds out into reality. I am 100% on board with believing in energies, and we can feel somebody's presence before they walk into a building. So if your energy is constantly at a deficit, you're in the negatives, and it's just self-loathing and I don't want to be here, and you're making unaliving myself jokes. Long term, who's going to want to be around that? You don't even want to be around that. When I am in my lowest points and, thinking back on my great depressions, I don't even want to be by myself. I don't want to be stuck in my head thinking about my own things. I need distractions. Getting myself to a point of enjoying my own company is like a shoo-in. Like I'm dunking it every single time. My husband's going to want to be around my ass.
Yeah. And I do.
I know. I work really hard on this. Thank you.
So there's a lot to be said about what you just said. And one of the big ones is even if in that scenario, right? The self-loathing, the negative self-talk and all the things that you just said.
Yeah.
If I was a bubbly person and I found you physically attractive and I came into your life and we started courting and that's what I heard from you all the time, how long will it be before I start to see you in that light?
Right.
Because your perception of self is going to be seen by the world. It may not be seen right away. You may be able to fake it for a little while, but if you truly believe you're a piece of shit and that's the existence that you're going to live, the people in your life are going to start to feel that way about you.
Right.
Oh, there's always a pity me thing. They're always a victim. It's always whatever, blah,
There's
blah, blah,
always
blah.
something wrong.
Right. What is it now? Fuck, I don't want to talk to them right now.
Yeah.
Right. Every time I deal with this person, my energy doesn't feel as good as it did before I answered the phone call. Right. Like that is self-fulfilling prophecy at its finest.
Yeah.
And that is a very real scenario.
And I want to touch on, I said long term, right? My husband will love me through my hard times.
I love you most through your hard times.
Yeah.
Because that's when you need me to love you the most.
And you do a really good job of it. Right. So like the last 3 weeks, I really have been on an up and getting my shit together. I've gone through a massive growth spurt. But the last, before that growth spurt, and like I actually clocked what was happening and recognizing like, wow, there's a lot of things that I need to work on. I can imagine that I wasn't the best to be around for the last month and a half or whatever, however long that was. And it progressively got worse. My mind state progressively got worse before I started checking it. If I was like that for the next 10 years, our marriage would not be what it is.
No, we wouldn't be what we are.
Right.
Right. Not just our marriage. Like that would fundamentally change us.
Yeah. Everything that I just said doesn't mean that you're not lovable. It means that you have to constantly work on your state of mind. And if you are constantly in the dumps about yourself, it will be a long-term detriment to any kind of relationship you're trying to maintain, not just a romantic one. Like my husband said, if I have a friend and over the last 6 months, every time I received a text messages, my life is so bad. I can't stand my husband. I hate work. And there's never anything good. My stomach's going to start sinking every time I see their name on my phone.
And you will get to the point where you don't want to be around your person.
Yeah.
He said something and I was so, hold on. And then he started snoring and I started to giggle and I had to dial it back because you're having very serious conversation.
Yeah.
I didn't want to remember what it was.
Perfect.
I don't want to be loved when everything is great.
Yeah.
I don't need it. When everything is great and sunshine and we're frolicking in fields and taking photos and doing everything that's amazing, I don't need you to love me right now. Like we love each other. This is great.
Yeah.
But when things are dark, good timing, bud. He pulled that right out because I was about to get emotional. When things are really dark and we need that person to be there, that's when I need to be loved. That's when I need you to love me the most. That's when I need to see that I matter to somebody. So that whole scenario where, well, I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that was a very powerful statement. I'm just going to stop there.
Do you feel like I still do a good job of that?
Yeah, I don't get to that point though. Like even with your last like month and a half of low, like I did what I could to like be there for you and to love you and to let you know that like things are good. But like I haven't gotten to that point in so fucking long that I think I have a new, I hate the phrase new normal, so I'm not going to say that. I have a new homeostasis. I have a new existence of what my baseline looks like. And my baseline used to be, a -70 or 80. And now it's probably like a 0. Like I'm more even keel than I've ever been in my life. But a lot of that comes from hard conversations. It's about, I have somebody that I can wake up next to in the middle of the night and like explain my dream to just to get it out of my head so I can go back to sleep. Like there's a whole lot of, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it's like, hey, I really had really shitty dreams last night, because that was the statement at 3:00. And then when we woke up and walked the dogs, we had a conversation about it. The dream made no sense.
Right.
But I was still able to remember it after falling back asleep and waking up. And I've been dwelling on it all day. And speaking of that dream, and this is not relevant. Nobody's going to understand what I'm saying, but I think that comes from how much I'm constantly feeling like I am under attack from everyone in our life. That is not our new existence.
Circle. Yeah.
Right.
I get that.
I think that's my subconscious, like my dream state telling me that I need to wash my hands of all of it and be done.
Yeah.
So
do you think that's what my reoccurring dreams are? To let go of that insecurity? I
think so. But I can't say because I don't know your feeling. I only know what you're telling me in the dream. And it's very different to dream it and explain it versus that feeling.
The feeling is like wanting to be good enough.
But you are. Like way, 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 way good enough. Like on a pedestal, you're way the fuck up there and I can barely touch the top of the platform and I'm trying to climb and get to you.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like every time we talk about those dreams that you're having, I always wonder if it's something like I'm not doing enough, like to make you feel that way subconsciously.
I don't think it's a you thing. I think those dreams are not a new thing for me. They're becoming more prevalent. Like I'm having more and more of them. So the dreams are my husband leaves me.
It's not always me though.
No, like there's times where in my dreams I'm married to somebody else, but the feeling of us is there.
Right.
Like it's my husband, but it's a different face. And there's never a build up to this person, to my husband leaving me. There's never an argument. There's never I can't believe you've done this. Like I cheated on you or something. The dream is great. And then all of a sudden you've just decided you want to be with somebody else. I'm no longer good enough for you. And it's a fight for me. Like I'm begging you to come back. And the dreams suck. And they're becoming more and more regular. And I don't know if it's part of this growth period I'm having. Like I'm shedding a lot of skin right now. I don't know if that's something like my subconscious is hanging on to try and keep me where I was in life. Like Satan's trying to get a hold on me and doesn't like where my trajectory is going because it's away from all of the things. Like this is a little bit religious. I'm sorry, guys. Like I'm pulling away from all of the sin and whatnot and the things that keep me in the negative thought cycles to self-sabotage myself. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it could definitely be that I just have to let go of that security and feel the safety of our marriage. And all of my relationships before our marriage, I knew that there was an end date to it. I could feel it. Like I knew this was not going to last forever, speaking of my previous relationships. So being in a marriage where this is endgame for us, I don't know if my subconscious doesn't know what to do with it, or like it's trying to anticipate something negative happening, but definitely a lot there for me to work through.
You want to hear a fun metaphor?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you think that you're shedding this old version of you.
Yeah.
You know that when spiders molt, like tarantulas, they come out of their stomach. You can't feed them for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because their fangs are hardening, their exoskeleton is very soft still, and they are very vulnerable.
Mm.
When you shed your skin, it's the same thing. All of that has to be toughening up phase. You have things to become more calloused.
Yeah. There's a toughening up period and a fasting that happens.
Right. So maybe that metaphor was a good one for you, because now you've shed that old version of you and you are finding that new skin, and it's got to harden, and you've got to be comfortable in your skin again before you can start to venture out into the world. I don't know. That's where my brain went when you mentioned the whole new skin thing.
I mean, that's a really good way to look at it. I've been saying in my vlogs that with this new growth period, the foundation of me has felt shaky. But that's a really good way to say it, that my new skin hasn't been calloused yet. I liked that. Thank you for saying that.
It's just a cool thing to think about.
I didn't mean to derail the conversation either.
This whole thing has been a fucking train wreck. The fact that people are even watching this at this point, like, because, you know, when we started this, I feel like we're supposed to have a topic. And we're supposed to stay on that topic and do the thing, because we're supposed to be providing value to the people who are watching.
Right.
But this conversation has been so all over the place that, like, this is just a free-flowing conversation episode at this point.
Find the golden nugget where you can, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some other things that you can do just to try to reel that back to finding yourself? I guess we really shouldn't have called that a singles thing.
Yeah.
Because as we've had this conversation, it's not just about being newly single and finding yourself. If you want to have a new relationship with your partner, that starts within.
Yeah.
You can't do the same shit you've always done and expect a different outcome. So if you don't know who you are, and you are just a mom, or you are just a provider or a paycheck, or whatever label,
cleaner.
Right, whatever label you have assigned to yourself with the negative self-talk that you've given, what are you going to do to change that? Because that has to happen within before anybody else is going to see it. This is why we tell people that you can't control other people. You can only do the best for you to become the best version of you and hope that other people see it and want that change. Excuse me. So if you're not willing to make that change, then what makes you think the other people are going to want to see it or stick around while you're trying to find yourself? Like, you have to fix you first.
Yeah. I can tell you have a lot in your mind.
It's not stopped.
Yeah.
So it started at 3 a.m. last night. And I was luckily able to fall back asleep for like 30 to 45 minutes at a time because of him. And then when you got out of bed, I laid there.
Yeah. I was not expecting my alarm to go off so quickly.
Yeah.
I turned it off. I was getting ready to sleep for like another 30 minutes until 6 a.m. And I was like, no, I got to get up. The dog's got to go out. I need to start the kids' lunches.
I tried to get a nap when you were making your shake.
Yeah.
And I laid there and started feeling guilty.
Why?
Because it's 9:30 in the morning. I need to be productive. I should be getting up and doing shit. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go take a shower. And I got in the shower and we went to the shop and we just did the thing. And we've been running nonstop. I'm crash hard when I go down. When I go down,
I'm going to go pick up
down.
the kids and you're going to take a nap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that you felt guilty.
There was a long time in my life that you were not allowed to sleep on the furniture unless it was bedtime. Like if midday, you couldn't nap. Like that was not a thing. There's always work to be done. You shouldn't be sleeping during the sun up.
Well, different perspective. As your wife, I take pride in the fact that you feel comfortable napping whenever you want to.
Yeah. Well,
it makes me feel like you feel safe in the household.
Right. Well, that's why
like it's your home.
Normally why I do it when you go get the kids.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody in the house. There's nobody there that can wake me up or judge me. Nobody can say shit. Like, this is me hiding in my car for the next 15, 20 minutes. It's also why I've mastered the power nap. Because if it's only 5 or 10 minutes, I'm good. Like when we were in the cabin, I was like, oh my God, I snored. You guys were like, you were dead silent. No, I fucking took a deep breath and it woke me up.
Yeah.
And I was so self-conscious that everybody heard me snore and like, how dare I sleep at 6:30 in the afternoon or 3:30 in the afternoon or whatever it was. That was a thing for me. Like, so.
It's a pride thing for me because I've seen so many TikToks of women shitting on their men because he's taking a quick nap in the middle of the day. He should be playing with the kids. He should be helping me in the kitchen. He has a chore list he should be doing. My man's a hardworking man. You are a hardworking man. You deserve the nap whenever you want it. I'll shoo the children outside. I'll keep the dogs preoccupied. like a badge of honor. I get to wear my little Girl Scout vest, all my little things that I get to add to it. My husband gets to take naps. Yeah.
On everything that you said from those TikToks of he's got a list, he should be playing with the kids. He should be. None of that is, I love my husband.
Yeah.
All of that is, how dare you take a nap right now?
Right.
There is a resentment. Fuck you for being lazy.
Because I can't do that right now. That's how I take that.
That's how I view it.
Like women get shitty, or men, vice versa, if their partner's doing something because they can't do that exact thing in that moment. I could use a nap right now. My husband plays video games all the time. When is it my turn to go get to do something?
Right.
Yeah.
When there are kids involved, little kids, I can understand that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, let's say it's 3 o'clock in an afternoon where we don't have the kids that day.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, I got to make dinner in an hour. And I'm on the couch and I'm like taking a nap, and you wanted to take a nap and you wanted to lay with me. I would rather that. I would rather you lay with me on the couch and us exist in comfort and like love and connection than be worried about dinner.
Right.
I can eat hot dogs. Bro, there's a bag of like 2-year-old pork rinds in the fucking cabinet. I'll eat that shit.
We got some frozen nuggets.
We got a whole lot of shit in there that just is very quick and easy because some days we just don't want to.
SpaghettiOs and Cheez-Its.
If that is okay on those days that you just don't want to, why are you prioritizing all of that other nonsense and not connecting with your person? Because those moments where we get to lay around are the moments that I'm going to remember. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to remember the fact that you made stuffed peppers last night.
Right.
When was the last time you made meatloaf? Maybe made meatloaf. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember laying on the couch earlier today and us having a moment. I remember what your weight felt like on my stomach as I was breathing. Like I remember your warmth and the dog's breath as he was trying to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's, I don't know.
No, I get it. Like I take pride in cooking. And when I cook a meal, I'm not doing like 30-minute hamburger helper. I'm in the kitchen for an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what I'm trying to make. And I'm also making enough for us to eat tomorrow, so I don't have to cook every single day. I start cooking almost 30 minutes to an hour after we get home. I spend time with the kids. We play a little game, whatever. But there's not a lot of bonding time there. So once dinner's taken care of and showers are had, it's cuddle time on the couch. And last night, our son read me and our daughter to bed.
Yeah,
fell
she was
asleep on the couch.
Out. She was out.
He was reading his books and I was nodding in and out, and then he'd be like, "Mommy, what's this word?" And I'm like, "Would." And he was like, "Okay, they would." And I was out again.
Yeah.
And like he was done reading. I was laying on my side. Our daughter was tucked into my tummy, and our son was using my thigh as his pillow. And I had my legs tucked in around him. And it was just a whole cuddle train right there, falling asleep on the couch. The kids are going to remember that, not mommy standing in the kitchen for an hour and a half cooking dinner.
Right. Why is mommy so busy all the time?
Yeah. I miss taking naps with you on the couch. I'm excited for our couch to get here.
Oh yeah, we did. We have a new couch being delivered Saturday.
Yeah.
Not this week, but next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for that too. I actually think that I believe the couch is the problem. Mm-hmm. I believe it's the couch and these chairs.
Yeah.
Is what's making my back hurt all over again. Because while we were in Tennessee, my back pain was almost gone.
Yeah.
Like my sciatic nerve was no longer inflamed. It's since we've been home, it's been fucking pissed.
Yeah.
On a new age holistic mindset, I guess on that, it could be the environment.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because when we were gone, I got to breathe.
Oh, I'm hyper aware of my back pain right now.
Right? You carry that. The body remembers. You carry a whole lot of shit, whether you realize it or not. And like I'm here, I have to maintain my body. While I was there, I was
doing whatever we wanted to do.
I took Ivy all the way down to the end of the property one morning while it was snowing outside, walking in the snow. She fucking fell in water. Like it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But I was able to do it. There was no pain whatsoever. Granted, the whatever those
over the counter, whatever that Janae gave you.
Right. Whatever. I can't remember what they're called, but whatever that was definitely helped on day one because that fucking drive up there wrecked me.
It did. Yeah. That was a long drive. 14 hours in a car sucked.
Yeah. Lacey said we are in search of a new bed. We are too. We're going to end up buying a Sealy bed.
Mm-hmm. Changing up the firmness of it.
Yeah. They say that the internet says that you want a medium firm.
For sciatica.
Right. And I bought a new chair. I don't want to live my life tending to an injury or a sickness. And I believe that's what that is. I believe that I'm ill right now. My body's not right.
Your body's manifesting the illness in a certain way.
Right. I got to be honest. I'm also thinking that our retreat may kick that away.
Oh, that would be dope.
I do think to a degree it's psychosomatic.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah.
I would
I would believe that.
I would like to believe that like, I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm not gonna hurt anymore. Fuck this. And I'm just good. I don't think that I have the mind power for that, but I do know that our body manifests illness physically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. I noticed when I was at that low point with my mental health, I was waking up every single morning nauseous, like getting ready to vomit, feeling sick. And I knew it wasn't something I ate the day before. I'm not having like anxieties about life. It was a subconscious thing, just waking up and feeling like I needed to purge. And that's gone now. Like my mental health is skyrocketing. I am coping with things better. I'm able to reel myself in more. And that waking up nauseous is completely gone.
Jenna said, how was it in Thailand? That's a good question. It was different in Thailand.
Yes.
The pain only came from long bouts of sitting. The travel vans to and from everywhere we went is when the pain was at its worst. If I was sitting down and had to stand up, I would spasm.
Yeah, you would have to stop, wait 30 seconds and allow the muscle to release.
Right.
It was a really big thing getting out of the travel vans.
Yeah. I think that was a situational position. And like that nerve was I do believe that you doing the elbow flossing thing is helping a lot. Mm-hmm. But that was a good question because it's not psychosomatic if I was feeling it in Thailand because we were having a great time while we were there. Mm-hmm. But there was still a fear there because I was going through all my decompression work and like there was a lot of anxiety going into Thailand about that. And I had pain meds or muscle relaxers, prescribed muscle relaxers. And I was taking all types of shit instead of doing what I knew I needed to be doing to like make the sciatic pain go away.
Right. We're going on an hour.
I don't know. We could pop up an article. You could read an article and I can sit here and zone out for a minute.
I don't think that's going to be a 20-minute thing. Entertainment, like articles and television, is not just a 20-minute one and done for us.
It never is. Oh, man. I don't know what to talk about now. I feel like this was so all over the place the entire time that we were doing this that like I don't even know if this was a cohesive episode.
Oh, people were saying that they were loving it.
Yeah.
I think this episode is like one of our side pieces.
Yeah. Just random shit.
Got derailed sometimes. There's useful information here, goofy moments, funniness.
Zach said it's in the Death Star.
Dope.
I am going to write another book.
Yeah?
Yep.
About what?
Finding yourself after divorce.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
I've got notes all over the place and I'm going to have to put them together and actually develop the chapters. And I'm not going to write it for a while. Mm-hmm. I don't want to just create content for the sake of creating content. And that's what my book is. Like if I write another book and it's buy my book, I'm a salesman. I don't want to do that. I'd rather write a book and it value people, it add value and enhance people's lives. But I definitely do want to write another book. What would you suggest putting in a journal?
Anything and everything. Moments that made you happy. Things that made you stop and think. Watch this video today and it made me think of this. Happy memories.
Yeah.
Aspirations.
The journal aspect is a unique thing, right? Because there are days that my journal looks like my 5 critical tasks. Mm-hmm. And that's all that's in my journal. Like I know I got to get these 5 things done. And once it's done, I can fuck off for the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks like my wife said this and she said that. And now I feel like X, Y, and Z. And why do I feel like X, Y, and Z? And then I have to think about that as well. Mm-hmm. I had this conversation with Michael at the cabin. When I write things down, I don't like to scribble them out. I don't like to do that. Okay. Because it looks sloppy.
It does.
My handwriting looks like shit anyways. So I have to really think about what I'm wanting to say when I write it down because I don't want to, I will write oops. Mm-hmm. Like if I fuck up just because I am human, but like I don't want to have those errors. So if I'm going to journal something, I'm going to really process my thought and it's going to make me think before I put it in the journal because there's a want to be very clear when I go back and read. Right. So like
a documentation of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a how to like, or a what if, or a this happened and it's why did this happen? And it's a lot more than just a documentation.
Yeah.
I keep seeing people talk about a shadow work journal. And I know that there was a lot of, I'll pop to Josiah's question in a second. I know that there are a lot of places that sell shadow work journals and shadow work books, and shadow work has become the new narcissist.
Yeah, it feels like a gimmicky thing at this point.
Right.
I ordered that shadow journal off of TikTok, and I hated everything about it. I hate the one prompt question and now write about that. I don't want to sit here and think about, I don't know, stupid questions like look at the clouds and what do you see?
Right.
That reflects your subconscious.
Yeah. When you read Jung, and Jung is the shadow work, that's where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
The shadow work is about learning your evil side. It is all of your deep secrets, all of the ugly, all of that. That is the shadow
that you're
work.
Capable of, that you're ashamed of.
Right. That's doing the shadow work.
Yeah.
So plant medicine is a very fast way to do the shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
However, reintegration is super fucking important, and a lot of people will do it and not understand what's happening, or they don't take the time. They just accept it as a fun experience, and that's it. You can use any journal as a shadow work journal. If you have something that makes you think of some really devious shit and you catch it in the moment, think about why you feel that way. Think about what made you think that. Is there a desire there? Are you coveting another man's woman? Do you want your boss's job?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what is the base of this that makes you feel the way that you want to feel, or the way that you are choosing to feel in the moment? And then exploring that. That's also part of trying to figure out who you are as a person. Because if you only live as the light and no shadow, you are only half of you. And that's the whole point of Jung's theory on shadow work. The shadow is half of your existence.
Right.
Josiah said, I have a question. As a single man, I have found a community and I'm working on myself, reading, reading. Now the podcast, I've grown so much. How would you ask someone out at church? What or how would you ask? From a man's perspective, well, okay, so there's a whole lot of questions that I would need. So let's say that you're a 30-year-old single man who's never been divorced with no kids, right? Just so that it's an easy, you're going to church. I'm assuming that you have church communities. The way that I would try to ask somebody to court or like just to come out, I would probably just want to experience some time with them outside of the church experience. Yeah. I would ask them to do a picnic.
Yeah.
Let's do something in the sun, outside. I'll cook, or we can DoorDash to the park. Yeah. Whatever. Bring a blanket, leave the phones in the car, and let's talk. We can talk about religion. We can talk about the clouds. We can talk about the lake. We can talk about ducks. I just want to get to know you on a personal level, and it's not a date.
Right. It's just a hangout session.
Right.
As a lady, I would appreciate being approached with, what about me stood out to you to make you ask me this question? Right. So if my husband approached me and we're at church and he's like, I really enjoy your energy. I like your energy. You seem super positive all the time. I would like to get to know you more. Okay, word. What are we doing? No pressure. No. How am I wanting to phrase this? Some people are easily spooked. Like they hear something, they want to scuttle away for protection. I think a soft in, like, you have really dope energy. You seem like a really positive person. When you walk into the room, you're like bringing sunshine with you. I think that's a really dope entry into that.
Yeah.
A soft segue. And then picnic idea is dope. I would like to get to know you more. Do you want to do something outside of church together?
That would be the statement.
Go get a movie.
Yeah.
Well, a movie is not an idea for a first date. Can't talk during a movie.
I think that's a really bad first date.
Yeah. I think that would be like a good, like, third or fourth date. Because I need to know if you're going to talk through the whole movie.
Right.
I can't live the rest of my life like this. So I think that is like how people say, take her to a pool on the first date to see if she's wearing a bunch of makeup. I need to know if you're a talker.
I think that dinner and a movie could work for a good first date because you're just extending the time that you're having with somebody, and you may not want to make it to the movie. Dinner may be enough that, like, movie's canceled. Yeah. This isn't working, and that's fine. While you were talking, I had this thing on the podcast for the last almost 3 years. We have stated over and over and over again that it is about building your foundation.
Yes.
You need your ingredients to make your foundation. You need your cement. You need your gravel, your water. You need your rebar. You need all of those things. And that's the beginning phases of meeting somebody.
Yeah.
And if you go on a dinner date and a movie, or you go to a park and you do that thing, that's you picking out what flavor cement you want for your mixture of your foundation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go to Home Depot and don't buy shit. Sometimes you don't really quite know what you're getting into. I saw that. You're going to send me a dirty message.
No, I'm not going to send you a dirty message. As you're talking, it just reminded me what I texted you this morning. And I hit you with, You're a very flavorful soup, and I want to drink you for the rest of my life. I didn't mean to derail you. I'm sorry.
You're okay. Josiah, I actually thought you were going to say something really dirty and perverted because of the way you bit your lip and looked at me. Josiah said that's actually how I felt when I saw her. She just stood out to me, her presence and her desire for the Lord. So there you go. Maybe you approach from it needs to be approached from an honest standpoint.
Yeah.
If you guys are really into your faith, then a Bible study could be a thing. And maybe you can create a whole new group in your church, right? There's a whole lot of ends in that aspect, but it doesn't need to be an end. It needs to be an honest foundation build.
Yeah.
However you want to word the way that you see that person in whatever light you see them in, and then ask them if they would like to just spend some time with you. I'm not trying to go on a date. This is not a romantic thing. I just want to get to know you as a person and see where this goes. Because there is no pressure there.
Right.
You're not meant to be with everybody. God could be putting this person in your life because you have a really important lesson to learn from him, and that could take you 15 minutes to learn. It could be a simple conversation that they're having with another person that you're engrossed in because you currently have eyes for that person. And then it'll click and be like, oh shit, I got it. Okay, thanks God. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Therapy said, hello, yeah, that's how I asked out one of my classmates this week. You seem like a really genuine and nurturing woman, someone kind and who seeks growth. How about we go to the garden?
And I'll pay for your food.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about school or your personal life. Just want to give us a chance to talk outside of a school setting. I'll cover your meal.
That's it.
Yeah.
I know that there's an entire narrative about not letting men buy your meal because they're going to expect something from you. That eliminates all of that.
Yeah.
There's no expectation here. This isn't a date. I just want to get to know you. And if that means I have to buy you a fucking Chicago dog and a bag of Lay's and a soda.
Oh no.
So that we can sit on a park bench.
Yeah.
Let's do that. This is cold.
It is.
I don't, this doesn't feel like I'm having a conversation with you. You're talking to other people and doing other things and just giving me a little bit of attention. A little trickle of energy. It's not the same thing as being able to look at you and engage and read your body language and see the way that your smile lights up when you talk about something that you care about.
You also read text messages and whatever bias you have in the moment.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Completely loses the context of what that person is trying to portray. And shout out to Taylor real quick. Taylor came to Thailand with us. She's going to be going to Costa Rica. I gave her my Facebook contact. And she doesn't text with me. We send videos back and forth. And I absolutely love it. I can read her body language. I can hear her laughing in a moment. And I think that's dope. And then I can respond in a video message with the same energy. And I feel like texting,
it's cold.
It is. It's very cold. I enjoy being able to hear the giggle as you're saying something because now I know what kind of mood you're in. I'm not just reading today was a great day.
LOL.
Right.
Yep. He said, wow, everyone was so insightful with my question. Thank you, Chris and Peach and the chat. Now I have something to go off of.
Hell yeah. Let us know how that goes.
This is the entire point.
Yeah.
Zach said he prefers text. This is the entire point of the community. We all have our own flavors of life and we need guidance. If you are treading water and you need that little bit of help and you've exhausted all other thought patterns, you need one person to go, well, did you think about this? And that could be the difference of drowning and getting your way out of that situation. It really does come down to having people around you that want to see you succeed and are willing to listen to your shortcomings or even sometimes just bitch about your life a little bit because sometimes we need to just get it out.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I think I'm done.
Well, Josiah just said, see, Chris, this was a great episode. Don't think it wasn't or think your ideas aren't good.
I don't think that my ideas are not good.
I'm just worried about it being all over the place.
I worry about it being cohesive in a way that it hits the people that I'm intending it to hit. And I wanted to have an entire conversation of life isn't over because you got divorced. Life isn't over because you're in an endless marriage. Life isn't over because your kids are moving out. Life isn't over because you lost your job. Your life is over when you quit.
Right.
And you always have room to develop a new you, new hobbies, new understandings, new perspectives.
New things that make you excited.
Right.
I love looking at a large old whale shark.
Okay. Did not see that coming. See?
I love looking at whale sharks. Those things make me happy. Did I derail you?
You did. So hard.
I'm so sorry. But it's small things like that bring me happiness. And if you don't have small things in your life that make you smile, what are you doing?
Right. But see, I would have never known that.
Yeah.
I would have never known that whale sharks do it for you.
I like the way their tail moves.
Right. But if we were in a situation where we are two ships passing in the night and we don't have conversations about the things that make us happy anymore, and you've got a new passion for whale sharks and they make you smile like the way the cows did.
Yeah. They still do. Cows still make me smile.
Right. But if we didn't have these conversations and I didn't know this about you, I couldn't take you to see cows.
Yeah.
Or to maybe now look into cruises so that you can see whale sharks, or do something that's going to create an adventure that we get to go on together and live that excitement in a new us.
Okay.
Because who we were 3 years ago doesn't exist anymore.
No.
We've evolved. We've chose to evolve together because we prioritize our marriage. But there's people out there who don't. That they're worried about their own misery because they are fucking miserable and they don't know what to do. And I wanted to aim this at single people or people newly out of relationships because we see so many people who are like, I don't think that I'll ever find a love like you guys have.
Yeah.
Well, not with that attitude, dummy. Like the fuck is wrong with you?
Get it together.
Get it together, grouch. All I can think of is Dave Chappelle when people say get it together.
Yeah.
Somebody said my life started when I left my ex.
Sometimes it be that way.
Kara said, as a first-time commenter, I just want to say everything I've watched from you both, random or perfectly planned, it's always made sense. Thank you both so much. You've helped me force myself to grow.
I love it.
I'm glad that you guys are able to make sense of all of this because sometimes we don't.
Yeah, that's very true.
Did that make sense? Yeah, it made sense.
Perfect.
All right. With that being said, guys, remember you are the authors of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.